Greetings, and welcome to When the Moment Chooses You. And I wanted to just share the last episode of Dr. Paulina Van, and she is going to give us those wisdom gems that we need so that we can launch into 2024. We're closing out 2023 and we're launching into 2024. And she has some great insight on anybody out there that's feeling stuck, that feels like they didn't achieve what they wanted to achieve for the next year. I want you to really lean into this conversation, and I'd love to hear your comments afterwards.
I'm going to repeat this because I know I struggle with it too, and it's related to imposter syndrome. Everything you need, you have within you. And if you don't have it within you, you know where to find it externally.
Wow, very, very powerful. I mean, that was, there were so many golden nuggets in there. It just reminds me, Dr. Van, about 2021, toward the end of the year. I'll start losing passion and frustrated with what I was doing. And I mean, just all of the feelings within, coming through the pandemic and everything. And then, had another one of those moments again where I had to seek God. I took about 3 weeks off and just went into prayer because I needed to gain clarity again. So that was really awesome that you said that. And as I was doing studying and things like that, I found this quote, and the quote said, you don't die when your heart stops beating, you die when your heartbeats have no meaning. And so I recognized that I had allowed work and stuff to kind of cause me to not have intentional, meaningful heartbeats anymore, and I was losing. And so that's kind of another thing that stirred me up about starting this podcast, because I love to do live recordings and things like that, I recognize that on my work outside of work. And so that's so powerful that you said that, because when I recognized that, when I got clarity, I got confidence, honestly. I was extremely confident in knowing my superpower and being okay with saying it and just being able to do me and don't care what nobody else has to say about it. This is Charlene's time to do what Charlene is supposed to do for her. And because I was one of those people that love to make sure everybody else is taken care of, I have compassion for everybody else. But then I sat on this healing circle that was taught about self-compassion, and I just curled over like a baby and start crying because I recognized that I was not being true to myself. I kept stepping up to the plate, stepping up to the plate, stepping up to the plate when all of those pieces of bread were gone. I had nothing left in my loaf, right? So I had to regain that passion back. And so that's so profound and so powerful what you gave us. There are so many nuggets in that. I'm going to actually go back and write all of them down, because I really think that it's speaking so much truth into everybody that's going to hear this. I know that that will bless other people.
I do have a couple of other nuggets because what you shared about that quote, I saw it on your website, and I must have read it at least 6 times because it just resonated with me. And so you talk about self-compassion. One of the things, another nugget I have is practice forgiveness of self and others. And forgiveness of self is self-compassion. And treat yourself like
Yes.
you would your best friend. Okay. And when things happen, when people say things or do things that are not enriching you or nurturing you, respond with love and caring and kindness and compassion, and send blessings and positive intentions to that bad situation. You don't have to respond in the same way that they delivered. And I know sometimes, you might say, oh, that's a sign of weakness. I will tell you, if you can respond in a positive way, that's strength, because you've been hurt, right? But you're going to turn your response into that of being kind. And Dr. Watson talks about being kind and loving and
Yes.
nurturing, and because we're all connected. So what you what you do to another person, you're really doing to yourself. The other thing I want to say is, and this is related, but create a positive outlook on your life, okay? Because wherever you are, you're creating the environment. So whatever's in your heart is what's going to be shown to the world. So you can't have a hard heart and be soft. Okay?
Yes.
You must have a positive outlook.
And then one more thing, Dr. Van, I would love for you to, I know in your book, tell us a little bit more about your book and where people can get it. And also, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us one more poem, I would love that. Whatever you feel you want to do.
We've been talking about, and thank you so much for this opportunity to share my work. Um, the book is Regala Healing, and regala is the Spanish word for a gift. So the title of the book is really A Gift of Healing. And there are 100 poems in this first edition. And this first edition is available on my website, regalahealing.com, in the physical form. And then the electronic version is on Amazon. So you can just either search for my name or search for the book. And I believe Dr. Charlene's going to put a link down so that you can access it. What these poems, as I mentioned earlier, they're all about healing, and they use my life to illustrate how you can heal from certain situations. And the book is used, I have professors who read it before class. Even in Montessori schools, children love the poems. They weren't written for children, but they understand them. And they're used in huddles in the hospital. Of course, I used it on my live stream show. That's the other thing I didn't mention.
Yes, we got to talk about the show.
Yeah, I was recruited to blackdoctor.org to talk about healing, and not healing physical illnesses, but healing emotion and having a foundation to be able to navigate the world happier and healthier. And so, since I'm going to celebrate my second anniversary of the show this month, and it's
Really?
first and third Sunday right on blackdoctor.org on Facebook and on YouTube. Sometimes we'll stream the show to LinkedIn as well, depending on the topic. And all the topics come from my book. And every now and then I will have guests as well. And it's a half an hour show. And if you miss the live broadcast, you can watch the recording. But the titles of the book, I'll just read some of them. I'm at peace. I'm praying, forgiving. I wish. I forgive myself when I slow down. Strength when I smile. Secrets, happy, peace, change, joy, peace, grace. I see myself. So any of these poems will be nurturing, and it's my life. So I'm sharing my life. But what I'd like to share with you, and this is hot off the press and it hasn't been published, it came to me
Yay!
just a few days ago, and it's titled The Best. So if I can, I'm going to take time to pull it up. And I'm so excited because this is
Yes.
the first poem for my sixth book. So
All
I've only
right.
published one book, but here we go. It's called The Best. And let me give you a backdrop. There's a African American gospel song called The Best in Me. And I'm forgetting let me see who the singer is. Marvin Sapp, The Best in Me. Okay.
Yes.
So when I hear this song, I'm usually in my car. And so I can't write down every time it comes to me, but this time I was home. And so here we go. The best.
Okay.
The best in me are things I struggle to see, yet these are things God made me to be. The best in me is my smile. It brightens any situation for a while. The best in me are things that I feel, promoting situations to heal. The best in me is the courage I emit. It won't allow me to quit. The best in me brings light to the darkest hours, unveiling my superpowers. The best in me propels me to forgive with ease after I pray on my knees. The best in me is that I am a survivor, leaning on the Lord as my advisor. The best in me is my positive aura, making me shine like an aurora. The best in me searches for the good in everyone I meet, making life so very sweet. The best in me wants to be a centenarian, so most of the time I'm a vegetarian. The best in me looks for every opportunity to care, mitigating fears and tears. The best in me is the wisdom from my inner voice, each time leading me to the best choice. The best in me just wants to be loved, and I rely on my Father above. I really love me and the best in me.
Wow. That is beautiful, dynamic, and absolutely powerful. And what a great way to end my podcast for the year with the best in me. So thank you so much for that. Most likely this is going to be airing really soon in December. And so thank you so much for sharing that with me. I would love for you to give us some wisdom as we transition out of 2023 and launch into 2024. So I'd love to just give you the floor for that. And then you can let us know how we can get, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Mhm. Absolutely. So, I've kind of shared it along the way, but there are two things that I thought about and that I'd like to share. And that is, as we go into uh, the holidays and the new year, of course, we talked about forgiveness. And it's so important because you may be around family members or other close loved ones where there's a little rift. So please take forgiveness to any of those encounters. Then release perfection. Life, no
Mm,
people are perfect. And so it's almost intertwined. We get into a rift because someone may not be meeting our expectations and our expectations may not be their standard. Okay. So just release perfection for others and release perfection for yourself. I'll tell you, it's freeing and it'll take a lot of stress off of you. The other is, and again, I know you hear this a lot, but prioritize self care. If it means daily exercise, and it doesn't mean you have to go to a class, just get some fresh air. Walk outside. You can begin with, I'm going to walk outside for 5 minutes and come back in. Or I'm going to go on the patio. If you're unable to walk, I'm going to go on the patio or stick my head out the window just to breathe in some fresh air. And let me give you a tip to jumpstart your day. Many of you, I know not everyone, but many of you may, the first thing you drink is coffee. I challenge you that the first thing you drink is 8 ounces of water because we're 80 to 90% of water and you've been sleeping all night and you're dehydrated. And I promise you, I promise you, if you do this on a regular basis, it's going to be a nice pickup. The other thing I have done, and I will do it as I start the new year, uh, at least once a quarter, I take a month where do where I do scheduled self-care practices. So let me give you an example of one that I do. So for 30 days, I will meditate for 20 minutes. And that may seem a long time, but just ask Siri or find a YouTube video for 20 minutes and you'll see how quickly that goes by. Just listen to music for 20 minutes and do something that is quiet time for you every day. Then twice a day, I'll do gratitude journaling. So in the morning, I'll say what I'm thankful for, and it hasn't happened yet. And then in the evening, I'll say, write 3 things I'm grateful for that did happen. So again, you set intention for the day by writing things you're grateful for before they even happen. And then if you can do during this month time, if you can do something really wonderful for yourself. So say you get your nails done or a pedicure or you get a massage, be fully present during that time or make an appointment to do that. Yours may be swimming. So when you're swimming, be fully present. It may be when you're cooking, you may be cooking something, be fully present. And so try to do this for a full 30 days and see what happens to the way you react to yourself, you love yourself, and how you react to others. So that's my takeaway. And on an ongoing basis, I think what's so important is that we find time every day, 365 days a year, to just have 5 minutes of quiet time. Okay. You may have to, find it if you have children or a lot of folks in the house. You may have to, you know, sit in the bathroom or even stand outside. But it's important that you just quiet your mind and you can listen to music or you can just focus on your breath. And again, I promise you that will change the way you show up in the world. You'll show up with more peace, more calm, you'll be less reactive. It's so important to drop into your heart.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much. It has been such a delight and an honor to have you on the show, just to even know more about you now. I'm like, okay, I want to be mentored. I want you to be my mentor. No, but seriously, I really appreciate every story, every wisdom gem that you gave us. I know that people are going to be blessed as they listen to this recording. So, can we just find out, Dr. Van, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So they can go to my website, regalahealing.com, and that's REGALAHEALING.com. And there's a contact form there, and I will get contacted. They can also purchase my book, either electronic or physical book there. I do have a second edition of the book coming out, and it should be out at the beginning of the year, and that's with a publisher. So it'll be a different way
Awesome.
to get it. And of course, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn, Paulina Van. So, yeah, I would love to hear
Okay, awesome.
the audience. And if there are any nurse poets out there, I really want to connect with you, or healthcare poets.
Yes.
April is coming up, and I'm going to do some special shows on poetry, and I'd love to hear from you. Yeah.
That is wonderful. And I am so excited. So thank you so much for being on the show. And I know, I mean, I am so full after our conversation, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm feeling very, and this was the first day of my vacation, staycation. And this
Uh,
is a great way to start my staycation. I'm so centered and grounded from just hearing your voice is very powerful and is very soothing and very calming. And you must have also been prophesying because I am not a doctor yet. So I was like, oh my gosh, she's prophetic too.
well, no, it's so interesting because it was just so natural. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to speak it. And I don't know if that's a desire
Well,
of yours.
you just prophesied it. Well, that is a desire, but it wasn't a desire before, but it's been, kind of touching me, tapping me on the shoulder a little bit. So when you said it twice, it
Uh-huh.
was so funny because a lot of time God tends to do that. He'll speak it through someone else just to confirm it and say, see, that's what I'm trying to get you to do anyway. So thank you for that. See, such a
Well,
blessing.
you're welcome because that's the energy I got from you. So
Yeah, well, thank you so much. So I will be reaching out to you definitely. And thank you for being on When the Moment Chooses You.
I want to say that I have been nourished by just having this conversation and hearing your story as well. So thank you for nourishing me during this time.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful, compassionate, courageous conversation by Dr. Paulina Van. It was an absolute treat. Now, if you were inspired, I would love to hear from you. Why don't you drop some comments and let me know a takeaway that you gleaned from the conversation? Also, if you know any trailblazers and change agents and you want to hear from them, why don't you have them contact me in the link below? And thank you so much for joining. And I hope you are ready to respond to the call when that moment does choose you. Thank you for listening.